been going at it, they have. It ain't mine. Mine are just sniffing. That's all they're doing. And then Dora's just over there sniffing as well. But I had a comment on one of my videos earlier today in response to my video, the one I put on about 3 o'clock. I can't remember the name of it now, but anyway, one of my videos. And this commenter said that, can you help me get out of the United States, out of this hellhole? How do I do it? I've got no money, but how do I do it? How do I get out of this hellhole? Well, it ain't that easy, is it? Not everyone's got the money to emigrate, no, unfortunately. And for me, it was easy because when we left the United Kingdom, moved to France, we had, well, that was before we had the Brexit. It's a lot harder now since the Brexit. But it was before the Brexit, so that was a lot easier for us. We basically just moved over, We did our recce, our reconnaissance, and found a place eventually, which was an absolute wreck of a house. Absolute wreck. We had cows in our kitchen. Yeah, cows. Didn't expect that. But anyway, we bought it, and we've renovated it. It's still finished, But we've still got roots here now, so we've got, like, our home, we've got what have you. Everything is here. If I didn't have the money to move, for me, I just sold my house, and then we bought a place over here, right? We were fortunate like that. We were able to do that. We had some equity in the house, and we paid off all our debts, and bought the regular house and renovated it. But what if you didn't have no money? What if you just wanted to avoid the madness? I know what I would do. If I was on my own, or maybe if it's just me and the missus, which it is, she wouldn't be keen on this idea, but she would if the situation was different. We don't feel any need to do what I'm about to say, because we're in France and it's relatively safe. Those dogs are so loud. They must be chasse dogs. They must be. First time I've heard them. I heard the donkey a minute ago. So I'll tell you what I would do. There's a couple of options I would do. As a boatman man, if I had a little bit of money, enough to buy a boat, I would buy a boat. That's one thing I'd probably do. If I was on my own, I'd probably be keen to do that anyway. But you're not a boatman. I'd have a van life, To be honest, I'd probably do that before boating life, to be honest. We've got our camping car, our camper, and we travel about in that, and it's not stealth because it's a bit big to be stealth, but it's self, everything's on there, you know what I mean? We've got 500 watts of solar on the roof and big ass batteries and shit like that in the camper, so we can be off grid, so to speak, in the camper. My point is that if I felt threatened, and I didn't have kids and stuff like that, I would be looking for a transient life. I would move from place to place. And a lot of that would depend on the environment, as in, is it possible to live fairly cheaply? I wouldn't necessarily go to a place like California because it's expensive, But I would do my best to be away from people. I would. I just would. And then when I felt I'm, growing roots, I'd move on again. Maybe do a little bit of work as well while I'm there, as a skilled person. I can do that, bit of woodworking and that, even a bit of engineering, even plumbing, But it's with what's going on in the United States, I don't think I'd want to set down roots in the United States. Not now. Not with everything that's going on. And when I saw that comment, I felt a little bit sad actually that there's people in the United States feel so threatened by everything that's going on that they feel that they've got to leave their country, their place of birth and all that. And it just feels a little bit. I know some people say, I have done in the past in the comments, people have said, you shouldn't run, you need to fight and stuff like that. Not everyone's made that way, are they? We're all different. Not everyone can cope with it. But for me, I would move from place to place, do a bit of work somewhere maybe, and then move on to somewhere else. I would learn, well, I know a fair bit of foraging anyway, foraging skills, because I already do it, I go mushroom picking and stuff like that. And like dandelions, you name it, all sorts of stuff. There's food everywhere, right? The animals eat it. There's food absolutely everywhere. Even stinging nettles, using the stinging nettle tops. Stinging nettle soup is actually really nice, right? And it's really good for you. Really good for you. Oh my giddy aunt, I'm losing my light. I am losing my light. That's the sort of things I'll be doing. Just make sure you've got the basics and do a bit of foraging. You'd lose weight fast. You would. And plus, doing the foraging, you'll be getting the exercise. And there's nothing better than being in nature, for the body, mind, and soul, and all that. It just makes you feel a little bit more in tune with the place the planet that you're living on. It's more positive because we all consume a lot of what's going on, don't we? Like news, and social media, and all that kind of stuff. And it ain't healthy, Can you imagine the amount of social media and news that I consume and videos? Oh my giddy, I was non-threatening, stop it. Although my last video, I don't know why I bothered. Quite frankly, I got to tell them. They're not showing it, actually, to be fair. YouTube's not showing it for some reason. Maybe because it's about Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe, probably. But, I basically did a video about his, since 1981 and stuff he's been involved in. And the fact that you're still paying for him. Yeah, he added to your national debt, he did. He got bailed out by JP Morgan. Well, actually got bailed out by the government, funded by the JP Morgan. All ignoring his past. That they were. They all knew. But that's the sort of things I'd be doing. I'd learn the basics, learn the skills, learn a bit of survival skills. Not necessarily guns and stuff like that, but make sure you can hunt if you have to. Traps and whatever. Make sure you can protect yourself from the bloody madness that's out there. Because it surely is, it's just crazy. See, one of the problems I see is these people that are supporting Donald Trump for some strange reason without a hint of common sense at all. Even though they say it's all about common sense, it's not a hint of it. These people are dangerous, They're the same people that got, like Marjorie Taylor Greene with her machine guns, and then Brian Kemp, both from Georgia, and then they're bloody crazy, they're nutters. They're the kind of people, they might not be that bright, but, they're the kind of people you don't want to be around. They just, no, you just don't, because they won't think twice about shooting you. That's the problem, they've got the intent. And it's one thing holding a weapon is actually having that intent to use it, isn't it? I can't see my chat. Who we got here anyway? Hello, 116 people watching me little video. Hello, Kazabine. Hi, Marcus. Hello to you. Hello, Billy. Oi, boy. Yeah, I'm alright, my friend. Oh, that wasn't a Norfolk Mickey take, was it? I think so. Hello, Chicken Hen. Artemis. Hello, Artemis. Shelley Chaplin, IDI. We got Christopher. Hello, Christopher. Number 3. Hello, number 3. Yeah, I'm kind of English. I'm Norfolk, mate. So I'm like the arse of the United Kingdom. A bit that sticks out, like a fat arse, That's yes, lovely place actually. To be fair, it's a lovely place. But it's, like a lot of places, it's the attitudes have changed. People used to be so much more warm, and now with all this social media and the narrative that's been pushed by right-wing media and social media and these algorithms that seem to be geared towards hate, it's just like everyone hates everybody now. No one talks to anybody. And also, like, I used to live in a little village called Sallows in Norfolk. And it was such a lovely place. When we first went there, lived there, and we got a house there, it was such a nice place, But then it became really transient, and it wasn't because of immigration. No, it was Londoners. It was those fucking Londoners coming down here, taking our jobs and our women. Those are Londoners. They're buying up houses, right? And basically commuting all week and coming and living on the weekend. But what problem with that was no children. There was no children going to the schools. So, all we had is empty houses and all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it became transient. It first started with our neighbouring village called Rackheath, and then Salhouse. And it lost its soul. And that's a problem. It is a problem. I get that. And I don't think it's down to immigration, because if people feel, no matter what race or creed you are, if you are in a community and you feel welcome, you will integrate. But they all go on about, they're coming over here, taking our jobs and our women, and they don't integrate. And they speak foreign languages on the bus. It's just, well, that's because a lot of that's down to the fact they don't feel safe. They all congregate together because they don't feel safe, or they haven't yet learned the language. If people are a little bit more warm, maybe things will be a little bit different. If they're not, well, then those particular people, well, then saw them, if they don't want to integrate. But if they feel threatened, I can't blame them for not, quite frankly. Yes, today, the sun has gone quite quickly, yes. It's been a lovely day as well. It's been a sunny day today. It's been raining yesterday and sunny today, and now it's a bit overcast, to say the least. We've still got trees, though. Look at the trees. Trees are good, I love trees, that I do. Well, there we come. Oh, got an itch. Hello, Joel. Hope you're well, my friend. Thanks for doing it, mate. Oh, sorry, I'm talking too fast. I'm sorry. I will talk a lot slower. Is that better? Sorry. I'll try to bear that in mind. I know my accent's quite strong. I don't hear it, though. I don't hear my accent. I can hear the fact that I'm really horsey these days, and I've always got this kind of raspiness in my voice. But that's down to the fact I got fibromyalgia. It's buggered all my vocal cords up. and I got bad thyroid, so I'm buggered basically. I'm falling to pieces. High blood pressure and all. But so I'll try and bear. I'll try and bear that in mind. I'll try to pronounce me worms properly. Yeah, me worms. And I'll try and pronounce my T's. Because that's one of the things about the Norfolk dialect. Is very, very often we don't pronounce the whole word. We seem to cut the T off at the end. I don't know why we do that. And then it makes it hard for those who don't. Oh my God, it's getting darker and darker. Oh my God, I'm going to get scared. God, all the trolls will come out. And the leprechauns. Not the leprechauns. Give me my gold. I want my gold. My lucky charms. Where's my lucky charms? Are you going that way? We can go down there if you want. We're going that way now. Come on then. You're going to pee on that stick. Oh, you did. Now, because he can't balance very well with 3 legs now, because his back end's weak now, he tends to just wee. just wherever he is, that's it, that'll do. He don't cock a leg anymore, because if he does, he kind of cock a leg then, but he kind of falls over. Poor little boy. He's such a softie though, he really is. I'll take care, number 3. No worries, my friend. Let me come. Oh, you'd be scared in the UK. Now, my grandchildren keep wanting me to visit the UK. Now, they keep coming to see me. So I personally don't get the urge. It sounds a bit selfish. I know. But I don't like the UK. Last time I went back there was about 3 years ago. Something like that, yeah. 2 years ago? 3 years? Anyway, a while back. And I just don't like it. attitudes have changed. People used to be so much more friendly. You get food people who are really nice, you know. And even in checkouts and stuff like that, like Tesco's and places like that, and they can be really friendly and sort of very chirpy, but everyone's got like a frown on their face. Walking around with a frown. I don't mean people look like a Cheshire cat, walk around like that. No, but they look so like the whole weight of the world is on their shoulders. Because it probably is, to be fair. Everyone seems to have to work so much now. 2 jobs, 3 jobs, just to get by. That isn't that's not normal, is it? It shouldn't be like that. I can remember growing up. I know in the olden days. My dad went to work. My mum looked after us. She had a little job as well, to be fair. But I'm not saying that it should be like one way or the other. We could share but you balance it out, share it out. They do 2 part-time jobs or something. But the problem is now it's like people have to. What we think are our essentials, our needs, which really aren't, have squeezed our pocket so much. And also, one of the things that get me is, my daughter, for instance, who lives in Norwich, she's got 4 children, 3 girls and 1 boy. And whenever they go out, it costs a fortune. And I say to her, why are you going to these places, like Banham Zoo and places like that? 120 quid here, 130 quid there, just to get in. Why are you going there? We didn't used to do those sort of things. We had 6 kids, all right? She was one of them. And we used to go to places where there'd be a meadow or something like that, and we'd fight kites or radio-controlled gliders and shit like that, aeroplanes, and, kick the ball about or whatever, In the winter, I'd get my little tractor and I'd tow the kids around with a sledge on the back, with the tractor around the field, around the playing field, It's that sort of stuff, you don't have to go places that cost money all the while. Go to the woods. You've got these climbing frames everywhere. I'm surrounded by them. Teach them nature. Foraging, you name it, Learn them something. Oh, God, do you know what? That's what my mother-in-law says. They learned me. I went to school and they learned me. They didn't learn much, I tell you. No. But anyway. It was, I think it's a crying shame, though. It's a crying shame that we don't do the basics anymore. You see, the thing is, if we did do the basics and we learn all these like sort of survival skills about nature and what you can do with wood and how you make a bivvy, all this sort of stuff like little bivvies and shelters and dugouts and you name it, all sorts of stuff. And and learning how to swim, for Christ's sake. How many kids don't know how to swim until they get to the teenagers? That's nuts to me. It's so dangerous. It's really important, and it also creates a bond between you and your children. Get them off their fucking tablets and away from these devices and build a bond with them. You're not going to build a bond while they've got their heads stuck in the computer game, are you? It's quite a shame. It's quite sad to see, really. I'm quite fortunate. My daughter, for instance, she is pretty good with the kids. I know there's this thing, if we go out, everything costs a fortune, kind of that, but it doesn't have to. But she does actually teach the kids stuff. All my grandchildren are way ahead of school, so I can't grumble. They do their best, definitely. But back in the chat. Oh, I love me pups. There's one. That's my Sebastian bear. He is a Labrador Dalmatian cross. He's got spotty ears and the rest of him is white. But when I bath him, right. Quite often I shower him, all right? What I do is, after I've had a shower, I'm all naked, I am. The shower. Then Caroline pushes him into the shower with me, and then I have to rub him all up, I do. Lather him all up and make him all soapy, and he sits there like this. What's happening? I don't like it. He really doesn't like it. Whereas Pandora, the little black one there, we might not see, she's literally begging at the shower door to come in. She loves a butt rub. That's what it is. She likes her butt rubbed. She's a big butt rub girl. You're a bum girl, aren't you? Hey? Oh, you want a treat, do you? Oh, okay. Is it because you know what I've got? Do you want one of them? Yum, 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 yum. Oh, that's my finger. Yeah, okay. And you, girl, do you want that one? Yum, 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 yum. They stink. They're really, like, they smell of poo. It's all on my fingers now. People think I've been touching my bubble, wouldn't they? My chocolate starfish. No, I haven't. No, I did not do that, no. Dogs are worthy, they are. A toll to waddle across me, a bridge there be. Are you a leprechaun? Oh, me lucky charms, yes. I love all that. It's the simple things in life that are important, you know? We overcomplicate our lives. And don't get me wrong, I'm a techie, mate. I love technology. I've got all the bloody shit. You know, I've got stupid powerful computer systems because I have to because I edit videos and stuff. Oh, look at all the light I've got. And, and then I've got electronic game, a workshop, and, you know, all that sort of stuff. And you know, I like tech, all right? But I use it. You know, and at that moment, I use it for my work, don't I, with doing this lot. Sometimes it's worth it, and sometimes it's not. You know, it's just, it's fun, I suppose. It's fun. But we do buy a lot of stuff we don't need, don't we? You know, the idea of going to the shop, I'm going shopping. I'm going to buy a load of clothes, I'll try them on and never wear them again. You know, from Primark or somewhere like one of these budget shopping places. Everything comes from Bangladesh or China, you know. India or China. And some of it is shit. And some of it is good. Most of it is shit. I know. You wash it once and it all goes all like weird. You know, I just... Get your knitting needles out. Do a bit of crochet. No, I'm not suggesting that. No, don't do it. No. My dear missus, she likes to do knitting and stuff like that, but just for fun. She enjoys that. It doesn't look like fun to me. I'd rather make something out of wood. But yeah, it's... I think it's important though, isn't it? You know, it's like if there's a lake behind there, you can't see it, but there was actually a lake just there. Well, it's more of a pond than a lake, I would say. Sort of big pond. Oh, see, if I was a kid and I saw this, a very prime a branch, that's obviously the tree has been blown over, you can see that. I'd be up there. I wouldn't these days because my body's buggered, but that's, you know, I'd definitely be on there. You know, I'd be climbing up that bloody thing. And then, is this things we used to do as kids? You know? It's like, when we first started getting cars and motorbikes and stuff like that, we had an old Honda. I think it was a C70 or C90, I can't remember now. And we jointly owned it. We had a few pennies and we bought this thing, but not to go on the road, but we used to take it into the woods and whiz it around the woods and then do pillion and stuff with it. Bloody dangerous, you know, but it was fun, you know. Sort of things you used to do as kids, mess about, get outside, you know. Get on your bikes, go places. I think we ought to go this way before it gets too dark. It's getting really, you know, we're losing light fast, we are. Can you see me? There we go. Oh yeah, don't forget to boot the old like button. Helps the channel, you know. That's exactly why I dedicated to take time off and travel. Oh, crikey, yeah, Canada. Oh, wonderful. I really want to go to Canada. I can't yet. I've been talking to the missus about it. We're going to save our pennies up, go to Canada. That's something we really, really want to do. Never been. You know, I've been to the Caribbean, here and places like that, but I've never been to Canada. Well, I don't want to go to the United States, definitely not. I would get in anyway. I'd never get a visa. That's what I've been saying about Trump. Even if taking chocolate starfish. So yeah, now Canada's one of the places, probably not up north, where it's more, not necessarily town. I'm not into towns and stuff like that. I want to see the country, you know. I'd like to actually hire a camper or something. I get over there. I have a camper, but I don't think it might be a bit expensive getting that over. But yeah, something like that anyway. I'll do a bit of tour, even on a motorbike actually. Think about motorbike and a tent on the back, you know, and sleep with the bears. Oh, I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just seems a crying shame. We don't seem to. Yeah, you get food people do that sort of thing, but there's so many that don't anymore. It's becoming a pastime. It's becoming lost, and I just find it a shame. And it's also detrimental as well, because we're living in a world now where the idea of looking after the environment is sorting out your rubbish and putting them into different bins. You know, that ain't thinking enough. For Christ's sake, you know, you have to change your way of life. And if you know, like I said earlier at the beginning of this video, and you're in a situation you wanted to get out and you couldn't, I would become transient. I'd just, if I was in the United States, I'd get myself a van. I would think something. I'd try and find something ain't too expensive to run, because fuel prices would end up going through the roof. Obviously, they're more expensive now than they were. They're still nowhere near as expensive as they are in Europe, in the United States, but still, I'd be looking at something that's relatively fuel economic and kit it out as a stealth vehicle, you know, so I can park absolutely anywhere, and it just looks like a van parked on the road somewhere, or off the road somewhere, you know what I mean? And keep the night, then move on. And, you know, until I find somewhere like, I feel, oh, this is good, you know. You get to meet different people, and you'll meet people. So why don't you just go, you know, park up at ours? This happened to me before here in France, you know. Come and park enough, you know, then we all have a bit of a boozy night and that, you know. It's, it can be nice. It can be nice. What you've got to remember is, you know, oh, crikey, it's confined space. But, you know, what you've got to remember is you've got everything around you. That becomes an extension to your home. Well, yeah, I don't know when it'll be tough, you know. Has anyone read the book, The Penniless Man? And there's a young man who basically, I think, I don't know how long it was, about 3 years or something. He lived for a period of time without, yeah, the whole idea was not to spend a penny. He bartered work and stuff like that, so he did a bit of work sometimes, and it was bartered for food and, you know, sack of this or sack of that. But that's quite a good book, actually. Moneyless Man, not Penniless Man, Moneyless Man. Yeah. It's I'm not saying that's it don't have to be that extreme, does it? And do you know what I find really sad? This might sound silly. Someone shared a TikTok video of themselves waiting in the queue for the food bank, and all in the cars. And every single one of those cars in that queue for this food bank, and there was a lot. 2-year-old, 3-year-old, maybe 4-year-old, all relatively new vehicles. It's like all of a sudden they've just been hit with food prices, and now they can't survive. That's the problem, you see. When you put all your eggs in that one basket called the government, and you expect them to take care of you, you're paying them to do so, you voted them in to do so, but when you get this this tyranny, well, you see what's happening, can't you? That you can. And with the likes of Stephen Miller and the rest of the Nazis in the White House, they are literally, well, they're destroying everything, aren't they? They're absolutely destroying everything. They're destroying the economy, and, you know, I was watching, talking about the economy, I was watching Josh from The Enemy from Within, and he's a trucker, right? I don't even know the channel, but anyway, he's a trucker. And I thought, crikey, this reminds me of Brexit. You know, he's saying, basically what he's saying is that the trade volumes are down because the haulage volumes are down. There's less lorries in the park up in the overnight stays and stuff like that. And, there's less jobs. There's less jobs for the lorry drivers because there's obviously less industry, less people out there doing the work. So I get that. And that reminded me of Brexit, because post-Brexit, we had all sorts of issues regarding lorry drivers. And the lorry drivers, they voted for them. But we used to have a situation, we used to have an agreement with the European Union, because we're a member of the European Union, and it was called cabotage. So basically, the lorry could come over from the European Union, drop off their load, and maybe they do a couple more drop-offs while they're in the UK, then go back with a full lorry again. So, they can make their money up. After Brexit, all of a sudden, that possibility got taken away. And eventually there was an agreement, but there was only like one drop-off plus one. And also with all the extra checks at the border, I'm out of the trees now, it's a little bit lighter. So all the checks at the border delayed... Is that something coming up here? Oh no, it's not. Delayed the lorry drivers for hours in some cases, and what we nicknamed a Farage garage, because we blamed Nigel Farage because of Brexit. It was basically his baby. He's the one who brought us Brexit, and now he's going over to the United States trying to destroy the United States. We'll help Donny do so. So the lorry drivers voted for it, and they effectively screwed themselves. And it's just like with this, they're Trumpers, who happen to be lorry drivers, apart from Josh, from enemy from within. They basically screwed themselves over by voting for, the orange von shits and pants in the White House. So it kind of there's lots of parallels with Brexit, and I suppose what it is that we put up borders. You put up barriers to trade, and for the United States, your barrier was the tariffs. For the United Kingdom, it was the tariffs, because there was no free trade agreement negotiated until at the right last moment, until the end of the transition period. I think it's 2021. And needless to say, no one knew what was going on, right, until the very last minute. But nobody was ready. Caused a huge amount of problems. Lots of lorries waiting in lorry parks for days. And some of these were refrigerated lorries, you see, because we used to import a lot of fish and stuff like that from the European Union, and it kind of caused a lot of issues. Not just like you in the United States, a lot of your stuff is imported, and needless to say, it's causing a lot of issues. And then when you've got reciprocal tariffs, your exports are also being delayed, plus these tariffs, which somebody has to pay, don't they? And when I see people load up videos online, when they're walking around supermarkets showing the cost of bloody meat, oh my God. That's something, a little bit of beef. It was about just over a pound of beef, right? And it was like over $50 per pound it was, this beef steak or something, bit of ribeye or whatever it was, something like that. And I thought, what the heck, who's going to pay that for a bit of meat? I don't know if it's the norm or have you, but that was in this particular store. And they were showing you all these other products, all way overpriced. It's not cheap here. But you do have periods when it goes on offer. Like at the moment, we can get pork, which is £2.2 per kilo, you see. And I literally bought some pork, not yesterday, but the day before. And it was $3.29 a kilo. So I got, just two kilo packs, which is, cheap. And it was good, It was good. So, it's, I made one into a curry. I do like to cook. That's the other skill you've got to learn, isn't it? You need to be able to cook. It ain't difficult. Once you know the basics, that isn't difficult. So anyway, we're nearly back at the car. There we are. Don't forget to hit the old like button. So, but there we come. Hello, Steve McGowan, hope you're well. It's cheaper to buy a cow. Yeah, we'll steal one. Or maybe you could carve a bit off the cow while it's standing there, no one will notice. Yeah, just paint it in. That look like Donald Trump's hand. I don't know. We live in strange times, that we do. And it's they're not good times. It's not, it's not as good here as it used to be. Here in France, But crikey, is it better than the United States? Whoa. Yeah. The cost of living is a darn sight cheaper for a start. Darn sight cheaper to live here. Some of the prices I'm seeing over the pond, is frightening. I don't know how people can manage. And just meat stuffs, there's vegetables, if they're getting picked, they'll get picked, they have to be imported. A lot of your eggs are coming from Russia, for Christ's sake. Was it Russia? Russia, was it Turkey as well? Anyway, they're not, a lot of your eggs are not from the United States. There's a lot of miles on those eggs, which means they're not as fresh as you would have hoped. And yes, don't eat your eggs raw, okay? Yeah. Okay, why don't you put this? So let's just put this over here. Alright, I've got my dogs in. You get in, boys and girls? Oh, you need help, do you? You need help. Oh, you poor old girl. What about you, boy? You want help and all? Oh, careful. Well done for trying. There you go. Oh. You want a treat now, do you? Let's find the keys. We can put a light on, can't we? Alright, got keys. Oh, there we are. Oh, hello. Look at them on my shoulder. It's treat time. We usually get a treat, they say. There be. Dora. There, Pandora. A good girl. She's a lot gentler. So anyway, let's just check in the chat. Let's see what's going on. Do. Or you just go out. Go back on. Yeah. In Russia, eggs hatch you. What eggs hatch you? I tell you what, there's been a lot more. I've been reading some Russian news, not in Russian, but translated obviously. I'm not that clever. And there's been a big uptick on the disappearing of execs and also politicians. Those who basically, standing up against Putin, all of a sudden they just get disappeared. One was found in a hotel. Hadn't been thrown out the window, that one. Oh, crikey, what's the other one? Oh, this is only last week. It seems to be there's one at least one a week at the moment being disappeared. They'll be done left soon. those Russian balconies, they don't meet proper code. No. With a bit of assistance of FSB. Quit, Stalin. I'm not Russian. Brother Andy, hope you well. Wishing you the best life has. Oh, thank you very much. Take care and smile. You have to, don't you? Stopping on everyone's lives and spreading some positive energy. That sounds like a lovely thing to do, actually. We need a bit of positivity in this mad, mad world, don't we do? So thank you for that. Hello. Oh, from Jakarta, Indonesia. Hello, you. I hope you're well. Was it the Indonesian president who had a pretty amazing speech in the United Nations? I think it was. I haven't watched it all the way through yet, but I plan to. Yeah, I was hidden in the dark. We put a raw egg in raw mince, mix it with spices and put it on fried bread, rubbed with garlic as a starter. I hope your raw mince is fresh. Like, for instance, freshly, because as soon as you mince it, the oxygen gets in and it oxidizes and starts going off. So it's like, for instance, if you go to a burger restaurant and you ask you medium, can I have that medium, my burger? No, don't do that. You don't know how old they are. You don't know how long they've been sitting about it defrosted. It's the worst thing you can do. Yeah, gut rot. But it's fresh. There's no reason. If it's fresh, there's no reason why you shouldn't do it. Or what they call it here now in France. There's very finely sliced raw beef. It's actually really nice. I forgot what it's called now. I think there's a little bit curd as well. Oh, what's it called? Oh, come to me a minute. I'm lounging in a camper beside my rural house that needs work. Redneck template. Well, it's kind of the other way around for me at the moment. I've got my house. That's okay. That still needs some work, but the camper's the one that needs a bit more work at the moment. It's getting there though. So it's all roadworthy now, which is good. But I do need a new battery. I was hoping I sorted them out, the batteries inside the camper for the lights and all that sort of stuff. That was a charge from the solar panels. But when I put the battery tester on it, it come up with being like 65 amp hours. And it should be 275 amp hour battery in there. And it's only coming out 65. So the batteries are buggered, I think. So I've got back on charge again. Just, you know, it probably needs desulfication if it's possible to do it on those AGMs. But the proper ones are proper deep cycle Hawker batteries, they are. But they are old now. So I'll probably change it for lithium, I think I'll have to. I was hoping to get away with it though. The thing about, if you get yourself a lithium battery, instead of lead acids, in theory you've got twice the power of battery, because the usable power is twice as much in a lithium of the same size as it is of a lead acid, of what you're supposed to be able to drain the battery down to. So it makes so much more sense buying a lithium and get away with a lighter battery and less amp hours. Where's the light technician? It's here. Can you see it? This is about the mood. It's the mooding. It's mood lighting. All right. I think it's down to the fact it's dark and I've just been walking down with the dogs. So sorry about that. Have I got any more lights I can put on? No, not that was no good. No. I think I'm done for the lights. No lights. Sorry. No torches. No lighting systems. No soft boxes in my car. Oh dear. There we come. Gone grungy today. Just a bit. I compromised with deep cycle gels. Oh, yeah. It works like your phone. I suppose it does, yeah. You know, you obviously got to have a charge circuit. They're all built into these new, especially a lithium leisure battery. So I'm going to get one and see how we get on with it. And if it's enough, I won't worry. But otherwise, I'll get two. But they are they're not that expensive now. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. And I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. Oh, what did Shelley say? She said, "Wow, Shelley, I just saw something. I opened my camper door to a moose looking at me." What? You had a loose about your camper? Oh, you mean from that? You were in the camper, not the moose was in the camper. Oh, I get it. Oh, crikey. I thought it was that way round. I thought you went up to your camper, opened the doors of the moose, and I thought, what the fuck is a moose doing inside your camper? They can be quite aggressive, can't they? You know, they'll chase you if they want to. Especially with those blooming antlers. Yeah, I can't check that. They're sealed. They're a Hawker deep cycle battery, but they're sealed. There's no way getting in them. I checked them over, each battery over, and I all had about 2 volts in them. I've got the voltages up, but it's just not holding it. It's not, the capacity's down. So yeah, I hear what you're saying about the levels of the wall, but I can't do anything about that. Oh, unless I drill a hole in them, because they're single cell. They're 2.2 volts. You see, each cell, it's deep cycle. So each cell, it's 275 amps, or should be, and each one is 2.2 volts. 2.2, I think, is volts. But unfortunately, the capacity is really, really down. And if you've got one that's down, it sends the whole lot is, the whole lot's too low. But they are old. I have to admit, they are probably 20 years old. 20. I put them in there because I had them, right? It had an Optima in there before, one of those spiral AGM batteries. But that was shit. That buggered up right up. I did. So anyway. I see you a political channel. Blood. Good, we FW Trump blood. What? Yeah, we definitely want his blood, alright? I think everyone wants his blood now. He's screwing everyone over. And thereby, RV Park was closing down, and I was able to score 4 of them cheap. Well, there you go then. Perfect. What's up? Blood on fruit. Town Peru. What? What's that? I don't understand. Oh, bugger. That's not good, Mr. Nobody. Fuel leaking inside, pumping fuel into the water. Now I had an issue with the camper because it's been sitting around for too long since COVID, and I didn't realise they put additive in the winter but not in the summer, and I had summer fuel in, and the fuel went to paraffin basically, and went all gone like thick and gungy. Buggered my fuel pump up, so you just wouldn't pump anything through. I took it out, I soaked it in paraffin and in a solvent. Didn't help at all. It's just too gummed up. So I bought a new pump for it and put new fuel for it and flushed. I took completely washed the tank. I had the pressure washer inside the tank, cleaned all the tank out, because you can get to it from the top and from inside the cab, you see. Cleaned it all out and that, soaked it all up, dried it all out, wiped it all out, got my hand in there and wiped it all out, made sure it's clean, and changed the fuel filter and flushed it through, and it's fine now. It runs perfect, you know. So but that was really annoying, very, very annoying. Oh, judging by the accent, oh, gone down again. I'm from Norfolk, mate. Norfolk, east of England, called East Anglia, Norfolk, and it's the bit that sticks out. If you're looking at me, it'd be like that bit, I think. Anyway, quite a nice place, but not as nice as it used to be, like everywhere, you know. Anyway, I'm going to go now, so I'd like to thank everybody for joining us, and I'm going to get my dogs home and feed them. Do you want to be fed? Also, they get a bit warm in here. Anyway, toodaloo!